Thank you for joining us for our high impact solutions for early childhood leaders. My name is Emily Grunt. As I said, I am joining you from Alameda, California, which is very near Oakland. I moved to Oakland about 20 years ago to teach kindergarten. I taught kindergarten for 7 years. I taught transitional kindergarten for 2 years, those 4-year-olds. And during that time, I was so motivated and supported by the learning I was doing about our 4-year-olds that I stepped out of the classroom to coach and to train our ECE leaders, teachers, and support training for them. And I've been doing that now for 12 years. I am so blessed to be the director of early learning at Collaborative Classroom, where I get to join each of you in the conversations about your spaces and places and continue to support with early childhood solutions for us all. Collaborative Classroom is a mission-driven nonprofit committed to ensuring that all students are readers, writers, and thinkers who learn from, care for, and respect one another. In 2024, Seeds of Learning, a nonprofit, merged with Collaborative Classroom. During that time is when we brought early childhood solutions into the Collaborative Classroom space, because we know that when we can support our youngest learners and teachers of our youngest learners from the beginning, we are supporting a trajectory for them from 3 years old through their whole school experience. And starting early is really something that we believe in and know is what we all need. And so we now have offerings from 3 to 5-year-olds, curriculum for kindergarten through 5th grade, and intervention K through 12. Here is an agenda for us today. We have 3 early childhood solutions to talk to you about, and this is the order that we're going to go in. We're going to have Every Child Ready, Pinecone Path, and Seeds of Learning. This is why it's important that you put your questions in the question and answer box, because we don't want to mix up your question with something else I may be talking about, and we're going to create an FAQ for you that really lines it up and makes it clear for answering those things. So sit back, write down your questions, think about your own space and what we might have to support you in that. Because we know that no 2 classrooms, family child care centers, pre-K centers, district centers are the same. That's why we offer an array of flexible, play-based, developmentally appropriate learning solutions to support each of your needs. Here's an example at a glance of our 3 early childhood solutions. We have the Every Child Ready comprehensive curriculum, Pinecone Path, which is a literacy curriculum for the year before kindergarten, and Seeds of Learning, which is a curriculum agnostic professional learning framework. These are going to be the 3 solutions I go over in more detail with you now. We're going to start with Every Child Ready. Doesn't that picture just make you smile? Did you know that 89% of Every Child Ready children are kindergarten ready? Every Child Ready empowers early learning at scale with tools, training, and curriculum. Here are some of the features and highlights for our Every Child Ready. Every Child Ready is a 2-year program. It is 2 years with a full scope and sequence for PK3 and PK4. There are 10 4-week units per grade and 1 supplemental 4-week unit for an extended school year. That's hard to say, called Fun with Fitness. All the materials are fully trans-adapted in Spanish. You have both years fully trans-adapted, and you have them English and in Spanish. Every Child Ready is a play-based, evidence-based curriculum aligned with standards. It's thematic, and it has instruction across all learning domains, including literacy, math, social studies, science integrated throughout the day in a play-based environment that supports all children's learning using an MTS model to aid all learners. That MTSS model supports educators with 2,500 small group lessons. The small group lessons support students that both need enrichment and intervention, and we are meeting them at their need using the small group lessons. The small group lessons support children from about cognitive level of 18 months through kindergarten. So we really can support each and every student and what they're coming in with and what they need. It is systematic and explicit literacy skills instruction. And it all comes on a digital platform. That digital platform has so many tools and supports for educators and for families. There are family engagement resources, including dynamic reporting of progress monitoring and supports of what children are learning, as well as activities and digital books through family letters sent home, as well as letters that the educator can send home about what materials the classroom might need, recyclable materials for the play centers, and for engaging in student learning. There are both formal and informal assessments embedded in the platform for Every Child Ready with dynamic reporting and real-time insights supporting educators to know how to enrich and intervene for every single child. You can also on the platform make groups for each of your children and support both the lead teacher in the room and that second teacher in the room in ratio. There's a full suite of resources, and those resources include videos that support the educator to know what the lesson looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like, and there's videos of everything in there. There's also a suite of resources that have PDFs and lesson plans that you can follow, as well as digital access for all adults for professional learning. So as you get started in Every Child Ready, you will be able to go through your professional learning supports through Canvas courses to learn and grow with the program. And Every Child Ready meets the highest level of ESSA evidence, the gold standard of educational research. You can see here that in the domains of students thrive, children demonstrated measurable growth in social emotional skills, self-regulation, and initiative in relationships. And in where teachers get stronger, educators showed clear improvement in classroom organization, emotional instructional support, leading to higher quality learning environments. That's not all. Every Child Ready was the only curriculum to earn green on Gateway 2 in the Ed Reports review. Does it deliver high quality, developmentally appropriate content? Yes. And there's still more. Every Child Ready met or exceeded every standard during a comprehensive review by the American Institutes for Research, AIR. AIR's review report awarded strong scores across all evaluation categories. We are so excited to partner and bring to you Every Child Ready and its suite of resources. And we are excited to continue the conversation and answer your questions about Every Child Ready. As a review, Every Child Ready is a comprehensive curriculum, 2 years of instruction, covers all domains, is available in Spanish and in English, and it aligns with collaborative literacy K through 5. I am so excited to share with you a little bit about Every Child Ready and now move into our next early childhood solution, Pinecone Path. Pinecone Path is a curriculum for the year before kindergarten. Pinecone Path is a research-aligned literacy curriculum for the year before kindergarten, rooted in the proven Seeds of Learning framework. Some of the features and highlights of Pinecone Path are: it is a year-long early literacy curriculum with 10 3-week thematic units. There are 3 types of whole class lessons, including a morning meeting, a daily message, vocabulary lesson, and a 3-day repeated and shared read alouds, all based on the theme. Each of those lessons are meant to be 12 minutes long because we know that your 4-year-olds need to have explicit instruction at just the point of need for their attention span and what they are ready to learn. It also includes intentional small group instruction. Again, 12-minute lessons, 27 lessons provided for a small group in both letter names and sounds, as well as writing, and an optional oral language lesson, plus play-based centers. The play-based centers are meant to connect to the unit theme, change every 3 weeks, and provided our Strive for 5 feedback loop questions so that you can enter into a child's play and extend their play and their learning through those developmentally appropriate practices and small group time. It blends playful learning and explicit instruction that is relationship-first approach. It supports the skills in early literacy, social, executive functioning, and approaches to learning. We know that children need to be in a thinking brain in order to learn, so we also support them from going from an emotional brain to a thinking one. Pinecone Path is easy to implement. It is a literacy curriculum, and so you are able to fit that into the other parts of your day. It is fully articulated with lessons that fit into your day, and it involves movement, songs, chants, and high quality, culturally responsive books for you to match with the unit topic, content, and centers to increase their learning as well as their vocabulary and oral language. There are built-in supports for our multilingual and emerging learners. Also built-in supports to support the educator to know what to do with helpful hints and tips throughout the manual to support that learning. They're easy to manage materials. There is an assessment embedded. We have observational assessment, unit assessment, comprehensive assessment throughout the program, and a digital resources on an online learning portal to increase your knowledge of the program, your learning, videos, and supports in teaching Pinecone Path. Pinecone Path is evidence-based. Pinecone Path is informed by the latest research and aligns with state and national standards, including guidance from Head Start and the National Association for Education of Young Children. Pinecone Path integrates the principles of the science of reading and uses the evidence base from the Seeds of Learning framework. As I think about Pinecone Path, I know that Pinecone Path gives a solid foundation in early literacy skills for our 4-year-olds, our students that are about to enter kindergarten the next year. I know that through Pinecone Path, students will be kinder ready and have the foundations of being a reader by grade 3. We will develop oral language and vocabulary, as well as those high quality interactions with the adults in the classroom, and develop executive functioning skills in the experiences and activities through the lessons. Again, that is our second solution, Pinecone Path, a literacy curriculum for the year before kindergarten, made for our PK4 and transitional kindergarten students. It covers early literacy instruction, oral language, executive functioning, and social skills, and aligns with collaborative literacy K-5. Now that brings us to our next early learning solution, Seeds of Learning. Seeds of Learning is a curriculum agnostic professional learning framework. It is a framework of strategies for educators and adults working with children ages 3 years old to 5 years old. It supports not only how children learn, but what they should learn and how we build in quality and balanced relationships in order to teach them. Here's a quote that I love from Shannon Vanderplug from Hudsonville, Michigan. I have fallen in love with seeds. It's the best training I've ever attended, and the results I'm getting are truly incredible. I am eager to motivate other educators to attend. Seeds of Learning came to my transitional kindergarten classroom in 2014, where I got to teach Seeds of Learning and go through that training, which has put me on the path to where I am today as a director of early learning, because I know that all educators need to know how, why, and what we should teach our 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. And the SEEDS framework supports adults to ensure children's kindergarten success. What is SEEDS? I know you might be thinking, Emily, we do not need another acronym in education, but I have one for you. SEEDS is a way of being. It is a quality of interaction. We call it a SEEDS quality educator. SEEDS qualities include these things. The first S in SEEDS is for sensitivity, using your senses to be aware. Adults look, ask questions, and try to understand how a student is coming in and how they're feeling. And then they respond with encouragement, using intentional affirmations, positive nonverbals, and praise in order to support the student's will to continue and readiness for school. When we can be sensitive and aware and encouraging, we are taking a student from an emotional brain to a thinking brain. And we know the only way to learn is when you're in a thinking brain. If you're in an emotional state, you literally cannot learn. And so we take the sensitivity and encouragement in order to get to that second E in SEEDS, which is, in this case, our big 5 early literacy skills and predictors. We will take your educators through a professional learning framework of strategies that teach not only how to teach, but why we teach the big 5 early literacy skills to get students ready for kindergarten and readers by grade 3, those big 5 early literacy predictors. And the D in SEEDS are those developmentally appropriate practices where they develop their skills while doing. I'm not just going to teach them and say the letter T, but I'm going to hand them the pen so that they can write it. I'm going to have shaving cream and sandpaper letters and puzzles about the letter T so that children not only hear about it, but they get to do it. And we do that through developmentally appropriate practice as well as through play. And when we can do these 4 things, sensitivity, encouragement, educate, and develop through doing, in a balance of interaction, that leads to our last S and C's, which is our self-image. Children's self-image is respected and capable when they are in a quality interaction. I also will say that the educators that have gone through the Seeds of Learning framework also feel respected and capable as educators when they know that they are building relationships and activities throughout the day that are Seeds quality. What are the features and highlights for Seeds of Learning? For adult, this is for all adults who teach and care for children that are 3 to 5 years old. That's the lead teacher in the classroom. It's the second teacher in the classroom. It's the cafeteria staff. It is the office staff, because we know that as we welcome our 3 to 5-year-olds in our settings, family child care, daycare settings, preschool settings, transitional kindergarten settings, it's some of their first experiences in school. And so we need to know how to build relationships, quality interactions throughout the day. And we need to think about how are we intentional for every student. We know that students come from their first educator, their granny, their parents, or their caregivers, and now they're in a classroom with multiple kids having these new experiences. And so we need to find out how we develop activities for their student school success. Seeds of Learning works with any program. It's curriculum agnostic. And so no matter what your curriculum is, Seeds of Learning can enhance what you're already doing, as well as make meaning of why we teach what we teach and how that gets our students ready for kindergarten. It aligns with the research, and it is proven through a randomized controlled trial and quasi-experimental studies. Seeds of Learning has been around since the early 2000s, and it focuses on those early literacy predictors that we know bring student success. When we come out and support you with our Seeds of Learning framework, there are flexible learning options. It is goes through some courses that are both you could do virtual or in-person sessions. We also provide coaching through Collaborative Coach to support your learning and help you build goals and dig deeper. We have professional learning communities, as well as an asynchronous educator certification course. And once you've done the educator certification course, you have the option to sign up for the Train the Trainer certification course, which means you can build internal capacity at your sites and become that seeds quality trainer of seeds for your own places. So we have many options for you to become a seeds quality educator, seeds quality trainer. Seeds of Learning meets ESSA Level 1 for strong evidence, proven through randomized controlled trials and quasi-experimental studies to deliver outcomes for children. A randomized controlled trial out of the University of Chicago NORC found that a single year of seeds learning resulted in between 2 to 3.5 months of additional foundational literacy skills for children, including our multilingual learners. That is so exciting. As I have gone through our early childhood solutions and offerings, I ask that you put your questions that came up during the time in the Q&A box. We will gather those questions and we will make them into a document that can answer them, but also make clear the difference between the three solutions. And I want to keep the conversation going. My name again is Emily Grant, Director of Early Learning for Collaborative Classroom. What you can expect next is to receive the recordings in the FAQ doc and plus some additional bonus resources about each of our programs. And you can expect to get a personal check-in from one of our managers of educational partnership or one of our representatives for Collaborative Classroom that are in your region. They can answer questions, they can connect you with other people in doing our work, as well as share as real stories of where it's happening and where it's going well, and connect us all together. If you want to learn more or you want to book a 20-minute meeting with me through my Calendly account, you can use the QR code here. And that QR code will bring you to my Calendly and you can find a time that works best for you. I know that this May-December time is really busy, and so find a time that you can talk with me, think with me, and we can answer your questions. I will be working all through the rest of the year, so it's not summertime for me. As well as you can look at this other QR code and visit our website to explore more and compare the programs yourself.